We gotta go live. Gotta go live. Gotta be bad. You gotta be strong. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be strong. You gotta be tough. You gotta be what? What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's some breaking news. Layla told me about this. And there's a press conference we're gonna watch. Let me get on the screen here. Um, there was a nitric acid leak from the place is called Austin Powder Red Diamond Plant near McArthur, Ohio. That's where the place is, the location of this plant is at. And it's triggered emergency evacuation. This is a pretty big deal. Nearby the village of Zaleski. Hazmat teams, emergency responders are there. They're saying 50,000 a 50,000 gallon tank began leaking this morning, sending toxic orange cloud into the air. Wow. Evacuation shelter is Vinton County High School. And then also the FAA has restricted flights within a 30-mile radius. All flights except relief flights are allowed in that area and up to 23,000 feet. So pretty wild. Let's check out this press conference. I was working on setting up our stream for later, and I'm still kind of working on that. I already have a title. I don't have a thumbnail, a title, YouTube description. I have a bunch of updates and stuff saved for later, but still collecting. And I was actually going to take a nap, but I figured let's do this first, and then I'll take a little nap to be refreshed for later, since we're up late.
Now the plant is located 27 miles southeast of Chillicothe, and the plant is actually an explosives manufacturing plant. They make explosives there for commercial use. There was an evacuation of 3-mile radius initially around the plant, and then they eventually evacuated the village of Zaleski, which has approximately 750 residents. The Vinton County EMA utilized their HyperReach mass notification system, along with there was radio announcements and television announcements. The Red Cross opened up a shelter at the Vinton County High School in McArthur, which is off of 50, just to the west of the village of McArthur. The Federal Aviation Administration implemented a temporary flight restriction of a radius of 30 nautical miles with a 23,000 foot ceiling around the area at 10:25 this morning. So we didn't want any drone or helicopter traffic. Hazardous materials teams from neighboring counties assisted. The 2 hazardous materials teams is the Wellston Fire Department Hazmat team, which is made up of hazmat technicians and operators out of Jackson and Vinton and other counties. And we also had the Ross County Hazmat team, which is made up of firefighters from Chillicothe Fire Department and the VA Fire Department. There were multiple road closures in the area, and the fire department.
And here's a picture, like what it looks like. Just the sky. This was about an hour ago. The sky, kind of like this cloud up in the sky. Pretty wild. Somebody wrote here 5,000, but I heard 50,000.
What the danger was from a controlled release, which is what the railroad felt.
Austin Power Press said McArthur plant had an unexpected release of nitrogen oxide. Crazy.
Department of Transportation helped with that. The Vinton County Emergency Operations Center and Joint Information Center were opened in response to this, which is down at the Sheriff's Office right down the road. Let's see, one other thing here. And I already mentioned to you that the chemical was nitric oxide that was in the plume. I'm going to turn it over to the Health Department to tell you the effects of nitric oxide.
Yep. So I am Brad Price with the Vinton County Health Department. I'm the Director of Environmental Health with them. Just briefly on the symptoms, we had some changing information, but for nitric oxide, you're looking at symptoms that range from irritation of eyes, skin, nose, and throat to drowsiness and maybe some unconsciousness. That's for acute exposure. There's not going to be anything that we know on long term with the recentness of all of this. What we would recommend, if you feel that you've been exposed, clean yourself, irrigate eyes, fresh water, those kind of things. If you feel any lingering effects past that, contact your primary care physician or get to urgent care or emergency room for treatment.
I would also add that the National Weather Service on Charleston, West Virginia was involved with plume modeling, and they were giving us plume modeling updates approximately every 30 minutes. And the last plume update I had the plume, it was just to the south here from the plant. So, like I said, this is still an active incident. We still have the hazmat teams working on the things out there at the facility. All right. Questions?
For people evacuating, how long do you expect that they're going to be out of their homes? Is EPA monitoring this?
Okay. They are actively monitoring at the plant. They'll be working with Ohio EPA. I'm actually a member of the Wellston Fire Department Hazmat team. I'm a Fire Department Hazmat technician, so I'm quite familiar with this. So what they'll do is once they have the leak contained, they'll conduct air monitoring out there, and then once they know that it's all safe, then we'll be releasing to the public and the media that it's an all clear, and then people can get back in their homes.
But that could be days.
Hopefully not. Normally an incident like this will probably last a few hours. It's all going to depend on the wind conditions and the amount of concentration that was released. So.
And there are facilities throughout the county that are designated as shelter in place. This is one of them. If we needed to open it up, the schools are one. You're looking for places that have, obviously shelter and then bathroom, shower facilities, those kind of things. If we needed to expand that, we would tap into that network and find places for people to be if it's going to be a long-term displacement.
Red Cross and United Way are operating a shelter right now at the high school, the Vinton County High School.
You had talked about the plume. Any danger of it drifting to West Virginia or other areas?
No, the plume actually that was being monitored by the Charleston National Weather Service was actually going up to the northeast, and the last time they had it, based on the amount of volume and the release, it was just south. It hadn't made it quite to the village of Zaleski yet. So it was, thankfully at this time, it was quite in a rural area. And once they get it released, that nitric oxide there, it'll tend to start dissipating, okay? So I'll see if we can eventually get a picture of the plume. I'll have to try to get one of those from the EOC. It looks like a red cloud, is what it looks like, a red cloud kind of above that tank.
And
I'm sorry.
okay,
I had a question for you. You had mentioned the symptoms of if you inhale this. Can you die from it?
There are cases of very acute exposure. There's case studies.
If it doesn't kill you now, it might kill you later, years down the line.
That high doses of acute exposure could cause death, but that would have probably been the immediate, if anybody was working right on site. As far as I know, we don't have any reports of that, at least that we have.
Yeah, we've not had any reports of any injuries at this time.
Worst case scenario.
are you able to tell us how this leak happened?
No, we do not know how that happened.
It's just the.
And how close was it to employees, this tank?
I don't know. This plant is quite large. I want to say it's over 1,000 acres. Being an explosives manufacturing plant, all the different facilities are spread out quite a distance from each
You're actually safer living next to the plant than you are driving your car.
other.
And
So,
these
we don't know without having a plant representative on here. I can't tell you exactly how far it was.
Any employees injured during the
No,
leak?
we've had no reports. We've not had any reports of any injuries.
Anyone taken to the hospital?
No, not to our knowledge.
As crews continue to monitor the situation, is there a risk for people drinking water or even being outside of that zone? Is there something we can take?
This isn't in the ground, so it's more an inhalation hazard at this time. So it would be more affecting with the breathing, so it's not going to be really in the ground. I'm sure if there's the nitric acid initially that was released, if any of that's in the ground, the Ohio EPA would work with the Ohio EMA and the Vinton County EMA on mitigating that.
So is there a difference when it comes to impacting health, nitric oxide and nitric acid? Is that...
Yes. Nitric acid is a lot more dangerous than the nitric oxide, okay? The health effects of inhaling nitric acid are almost fatal, okay?
Damn.
Yeah, if they breathe that in. So it's
So it could have been
probably-
worse.
Where it's reacted and created that plume of nitric acid is probably better to our benefit. It's not as lethal.
For plants
Not
like
as
this,
lethal.
is there an extra risk with them being, making explosives and stuff, for something like this to happen, for chemical leaks like this to happen?
Well, I would have to defer that to the plant, but I can go ahead and tell you from experience that the Vinton County Emergency Management Agency actively exercises and trains with the Austin Powder plant. So they do have plans in place, and they do hazmat exercises with them.
What do you want to say to anybody who was outside, who saw the plume, watch their health symptoms? What's your recommendation to them?
Do you want to take that?
Yeah, it would be, just watch for those symptoms. If you have any skin, eye, or nose irritation, or throat irritation, any shortness of breath, any dizziness,
I'm feeling that right now. The irritation in my throat and shit, a little dizziness. What?
clean up.
You know, I tell you, like, if I was in that area and they tell me this is what the symptoms are, just look out for some irritation, bro. All of a sudden, I start feeling irritated and shit, like my throat and everything. Maybe I got this
Fresh,
shit.
clean water, cold water, just flush your eyes. Shower up, whatever you need to do. And if you
And
feel
they just told you go rinse off. It's all right, just go rinse the thing off.
effects,
Wow.
contact your healthcare provider immediately or seek some medical
Yo,
attention.
and they're giving you the ER treatment. Just go see your primary care, all right? Thanks.
Do you know
Wow.
if anybody's been to the hospital, has gone to the emergency room?
We
with
have
these
had no reports.
We've had
that
no
have come
reports
through
to
us.
our agency.
There's nobody to tell the story. That's why.
Any more like sensitive?
Nobody out there to tell what happened.
elderly or people
Probably,
with asthma?
yeah, probably respiratory. If you had asthma, any pre-existing things like that would be more likely to be sensitive to it.
What about animals and livestock?
In the immediate zone there, I'd say the people should probably really watch their livestock, see if they're having any symptoms.
There'd be similar symptoms. But the plant itself is on a very large tract of land, and there's not a lot of residential around the immediate vicinity.
It's a very rural location, so.
Any updates as to when the evacuation will be lifted, when people will no longer have to shelter in place? Are you going to do it hour by hour? What's the next update?
Once they have the leak contained, and like I mentioned earlier, they do the air monitoring, and the air monitoring samples come back that it's safe for people to get back into their homes, then there'll be a notification to lift the evacuation.
With the explosives being made at that plant, is like dynamite made there, and is there a concern about other things exploding as this chemical leak is still?
I would have to defer that to the plant. Like I mentioned earlier, most of the facilities on that plant are quite spread out. So if there is any kind of incident at one facility, it normally would not affect other facilities. I've actually been to the plant during hazmat exercise before, so I've seen the different facilities, and they're spaced quite distances apart. So.
And what is the process of containing this leak?
Okay, the leak on the ground would probably be contained with like booms and pads, possibly dirt. They would make like dikes and trenches and things like that to contain the leak to the liquid nitric acid. As far as the nitric oxide, it's a vapor, so it's going up in the air due to the reaction. So it's just going to have to dissipate into the air. But anything leaked on the ground, Ohio EMA and the Vinton County EMA and the Ohio EPA will work with that to work on the cleanup. In a lot of cases, they have to dig up the soil. Okay.
And several areas right now having to evacuate. Any concerns on your mind for lingering in other directions further than the points that are at now? Anything like that?
They're doing constant monitoring on it now, so at the last report we had, it was still pretty much contained in that one area.
So when they do the plume modeling, they're actually watching how that's moving through air, and they'll adjust that. And it's pretty much real time as they're monitoring that, and it's constant input through the National Weather Service. And if there's any adjustments to be made, or they need to do a different area, they'll release that information.
Just to be clear, it was the nitric acid you're dealing with that on the ground, as it leaks under the ground, and then the nitric oxide is the plume.
Yeah, yeah, the nitrogen would be the plume. So, but I'm not sure if any of that nitric acid actually escaped its containment. So, I'm not exactly sure what the reaction was. So it may be contained. A lot of those storage tanks have containment type pools around them. And without having anyone here from the plant, it may still be in the containment fields. It may not even escape like they built like a concrete enclosure around a lot of those tanks.
But obviously, with her question, there has to have been some sort of reaction.
Yeah, that's what created the nitric oxide. And I'll have to defer any of those questions to the plant. I don't know that. I don't know. We just know the chemicals. We don't know what it was actually used for, other than it was used as some kind of explosives manufacturer.
For a lot of these, obviously the plant's gonna only know the answers to those. Will we have an opportunity to hear from them or ask?
I'm sure the plant will be sending out an official release. Okay, and I'm also sure that the Ohio EPA will be doing an investigation. There'll be a report from the Ohio EPA that will come out.
I don't know if you addressed this already, but do you know how long it had been leaking before?
It was reported around approximately 8:30 this morning that the leak was discovered.
And did somebody just
That it
notice it?
leaked. They don't know. Apparently, they don't know how it leaked. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, they said it was a major leak, chemical leak in Ohio. Layla told me about the story. Nitric. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I don't say the wrong thing. People think they're dying. Nitric. Oh yeah, nitric acid. I think. What did they say was dangerous? Really dangerous. Nitric oxide, I thought, or something else. But nitric acid leaked. A lot of it, all over the place, and there have been evacuations. The Austin powder plant is in explosives and blasting materials. Makes explosives and blasting materials. So huge leak out there. Let's see what they say over here. They put an ad. Don't make me.
That breaking news coming out of Vinton County, where a chemical leak from the explosives manufacturer's plant is prompting evacuations. These photos are from a viewer showing a cloud of smoke in the air coming from the plant. According to our West Virginia sister station, WOWK, that leak is coming from the Austin powder plant, which manufactures materials that go into blast powder and dynamite. The Federal Aviation Administration has placed a temporary flight restriction over the area. They've also set up shelter at Vinton County High School for evacuees. We have a crew headed to the scene and will bring you updates on this story as new details are shared with us. You can download the NBC4 News app by scanning the QR code on your screen to get breaking news alerts on this story and more sent right to your phone throughout the day.
Okay.
Meteorologist Brian Still.
It's crazy leak
Was
happening
there an
out there.
explosion?
I
Just
believe
keep an eye on
there
it.
was no kind of explosion or fire that we were aware of. I believe somebody working at the facility discovered the leak.
They just happened to look over, oh, it's leaking.
Yeah, it probably, I'm going to speculate, but it probably started creating a cloud when they saw it at the plant. So.
Were any schools evacuated? I know there's that shelter in school, but were any schools in session in that zone that were moved?
Not to my knowledge.
No, there would not be a school in that area.
No school.
Yeah, there's not a school. I know that, well, it's really sometime maybe the school's closed down.
What happened? Oh, they cut
So that plan's in place, and every county has an emergency operations plan. And we also have evacuation plans in that.
Oh, that's what happened.
And we're required by Ohio Revised Code to conduct
Notification.
exercises each county every year. So we conduct those exercises either tabletop, functional, or full scale. And sometimes we do them in multiple counties to combine the.
All right, so that's the update for now. I just kind of wanted to tap on that a little bit. Crazy. It seems like that area, let me see. The Vinton County High School is an evacuation center. The FAA restricted 30 nautical miles. Pretty serious. It's 50,000 gallon tank leak. Lord almighty. So who knows? And some of those effects might not even notice it for years. They might not notice it for years, man. So this is the plan. He's not live over. I'm on iCkEdMeL clips, guys. Oh, I was on iCkEdMeL clips.
Theoretically speaking, obviously, we drove through the village.
Scary time. So yeah, I'm gonna do a redirect. Is it in? It's in. Oh, I just read it earlier. It's in Vinton County, near McArthur and Zaleski. Vinton County. Let's see. I'm already starting to feel a little sleepy because I need to take a little nap. I'm gonna take a nap before we do the stream this afternoon. But that is a small population there, 1,700 people. Median age is 35 years old. 97% white, and small multiracial, 2.5%. So it's a kind of a small area, small town, but yeah, very dangerous leak. I never heard of the city. Don't worry, NTSB will investigate it, right? I'm going to take a little nap, guys. I'm going to redirect, though, for the stream for later. I set it up now. The title is subject to change. It might change, and the thumbnail might update it when I wake up and I'm more rested. Maybe I'll have a change of heart on the thumbnail. I might update it. But for now, this is just what I threw together, just to let everybody know ahead of time. That's the link right there, and I'll redirect everybody. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna take a little nap. All right, bye. Boop, 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 boop. Might have a long night. I don't know how it's gonna go today. Might be long, might be short. I don't know. Saturday is gonna be crazy for sure. I think. I mean, there's that planned nationwide protest. Yesterday there wasn't really much. There were some incidents, but it wasn't like the other nights. I think people are afraid of getting arrested. A lot of people are getting arrested, and what I saw was Chicago and New York and some other places, those were turning up a lot. So I'm going to try to, today when we stream, keep an eye on some other states to see if we can catch the crazy shit that's happening around different states. All right. All right. Bye, guys. I'll see you later. Oh, we got 1.7 million views. Oh, my God. Thousands of subscribers. 1.7 million. Oh, my God. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. That is crazy. 1.7. What the? Holy moly. Wow. They have a planned protest about 20 minutes from me. Really, Tammy? Oh, no. Okay, run, Tammy. Oh, lock your doors. Lock your doors, Tammy. All right, guys, I will catch you later. I'm going to take a little nap. I think a little nap would be perfect for me because if not, because yesterday I didn't take a nap. I should have taken a nap because I still woke up early. Yesterday I still woke up. Today I woke up like at 9 something. Went and got a haircut so I could feel good, feel fresh. And then, so last night I felt I was dragging a little bit towards the end, the last couple hours, and I can feel it right now. So I know if I take like a little 40-minute, an hour nap or something like that, I'll be like refreshed and ready to jump on for tonight, you know. Whatever happens, happens. I have no expectations, but I'm happy. I'm happy we got the 1.7. That's broke a record. We had 34,000 people watching yesterday too. At one point, 34,000 something, and 1.7 mil. You know, really amazing. So thank you guys. Love you. Okay, catch you later. Bye. Yo, Technical, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be freaking insane. Yeah, yeah. But you slept until 1 p.m. That's what I should have did today because I didn't have to wake up. My daughter's at her mother's. Like I didn't have to wake up for anything today. I really could have slept in, but my body I just naturally wake up in the morning. Like it's hard for me to sleep in. But I should be able to take a nap. All right, love you guys. Bye. Bloop, bloop, bloop.